Huh, it does say 9 p.m. I really gotta start reading these. Hello. No? Maybe? Hello. Okay. No? Maybe? Oh, is the stream up yet? Huh? No, apparently they can hear us. Yeah. Well, I mean, Super Grandma is a known liar, so maybe they can't, and she's just putting that in the chat for funsies, but I'm pretty sure she can hear us. Well, it also helps that we're just sitting here quietly. I love that every time we seem to, and by we, I mean you, because you do all the work. Every time we get closer to like having like everything down and working normally, you then add one more twist, and that creates then another wrinkle that adds some sort of fuck up. Yeah, no, I know. Yeah. That's okay. We have similar. Okay. I can't wait to see what happens. It's like a show for me too. Like I know what's gonna happen. I still don't know what's gonna happen.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Yes, we've left the microphones off. Well done us. Hello and welcome to Thunderballs Are Go, episode 6, where we try and make things easier and instead make things harder.
What I love is that we have found new ways to mess things up, but we still continue to do the like greatest hits, like the forgetting to turn the mics on when the show starts. So it's a nice mix.
For sure, for sure. I'm just going to make sure that everyone can hear everyone. Okay, good. Everyone can hear Al and myself. That's fantastic. I promise there will be improvements. Maybe not right now. So okay, let's get going then. It's been a hot minute here, Al. I mean, it feels like it's been forever. But it's probably been about 2.5 maybe weeks, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run us through where we stand at the beginning of round 6. Then we're going to have a bit of an interlude, and then we'll get into all the tea and the usual bits and bobs that we do. So, without further ado, let us bring up the backdrop. Oh, have I got the backdrop open already? I think I have, actually. This is quite exciting. So here we go. We've got some visuals. Look at that. Who'd have thunk it? I'll just hide Al and myself for the moment so that you can see that table.
But we're covering up the 3 worst teams. That's...
Not anymore. We're not. So there we go. At the beginning of round 6, where we stand, we've got Dodge Another Day sitting pretty at 5-0. We've got Lethal Is Not Enough at 3-1. License to Overkill at 3-2, and then Foils Through and Dodger More or Less at 2-2. On Her Majesty's Secret Outpost, sneaking just ahead of Catches Galore at 1-3 and 1-4 respectively. And finally, we're looking at From Deathworld with Love, strongest team there, holding everyone else up.
So, I have a question about this. Did you pull this directly from the draft board?
What we're seeing now, yes and no.
Okay.
I did, but we switched out Darklighter's picture because he changed his mind.
Right.
After the draft.
Here's the other. Remember there was one other thing that changed between the draft and the start of the season.
Oh God, no! What was that?
Well, and we can just say that we really don't like Ride the Yoshi's new name.
Oh,
and we refuse to put it on there.
Yes, Beans the Yoshi is not correctly displayed, but there we go. I'll take that one on the chin, and I'll change that for next time. But yes, Ride the Yoshi.
This also shows how much I look like. You sent these visuals earlier, and how much I looked at them because I was just like, "Yep, they're pretty. Let's go."
Form over substance. What can we say? Anyway, so that's where we're at. Before we go any further, though, let's discuss something legendary because there was something at GenCon, wasn't there, that happened? And we're a Star Realms kind of. We're going to talk about Star Realms things, so we should talk about Ian winning the Star Realms Legend.
It was pretty amazing. It was also I got to. Since I, of course, did not make top 8 in the Star Realms, I got to watch the whole top 8 unfold. One of my favorite parts was watching my friend that I brought to GenCon, Paul, who very rarely plays Star Realms, make it into top 8 quite easily, while I got to sit on my butt and watch him make it to top 4 and play against Ian.
Because you weren't in your usual 9th position, weren't you, Al? You were kind of...
No, I dropped down to 12th. I was having a particularly rough day that day. Apparently, I used up all my luck the day before. And
we'll come to that very briefly, in fact. But yeah, so Agent Sato, a dodgeballer, taking down the Legend series. And I don't know how long it takes for cards to transition from a victory into the game, but we should look out for Ian's card coming up at some point in the future.
And he already has a Hero Realms card, so he is now officially a Realms Walker.
That's true, yeah. And talking of Hero Realms, Al, I mean, I know we're talking about Star Realms, but, the reason why you might not have performed to your expectations in Star Realms is you had a pretty good day the day before, didn't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what I'm talking about. For those not aware, Al may or may not be holding up something that may indicate that he did in fact have a fantastic day in Hero Realms, and he did himself become a legend in that game. So congratulations, yes. Silent Al, on your victory.
The big news is White Wizard is giving out trophies again.
Wise Wizards giving out trophies. Al sporting one in his hand, loving that.
Yes. But I was very excited to see that they were giving out trophies again. They did for a while, and then they stopped, and now they've brought them back. So that's awesome. I think it was around the time of the White Wizard Game Fair when they had all the trophies stacked up, and they had like this huge one for Epic, and then they had one of these tiny little ones for Star Realms.
Tiny little dollar store.
Yeah, and all the Star Realms players that have been supporting White Wizard for years started complaining a little, and they're like, "We're just going to take the trophies away."
This is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
Fantastic. Well, congrats to Ian and Al. Cracking work by two dodgeballers taking home their respective legendary prizes. But now, Al, it's I think it's time for tea.
Oh, tea.
And we do, in fact, have a fair bit, I believe, to get through on the tea front. So, round 6, Al, before we get going, and I mean, I'm an Englishman, British person, I love tea. Everyone does. But round 6 is kind of the round where the captains start to show displeasure with some of their picks, isn't it? You're more than halfway through the season, and maybe some of those players aren't performing as well as you would have liked. Right. Some will be doing better, but some maybe not.
I mean, we always highlight the Moneyball players, the players that like the best value for the round, but very rarely do we talk about the ones that maybe didn't live up to the expectation.
Yeah, maybe the ones that the captain started off really hot on, but they've maybe moved through the real lukewarm into cold. And I can reveal that. Never mind. This particular piece is from Ninja. So let's move on. So we've got some quotes from the tea room. I'll begin with this one. I was bored this week, and so decided to prorate our match on my current throw. I told my team to expect resolution in 2 to 3 weeks.
Sounds like something Mighty Stig would say.
Or maybe one of his opponents. I don't know. But anyway, that aside, showcasing the power of the top 100, a dodgeballer was shown to be stressed out by the possibility of catching their opponent when they had them at their mercy at 62 to 2. They still didn't trust their instincts that they were going to pull some strange poop out of their behind to make a miracle save. That didn't happen, and with the score at 52 to -1, they were heard to whisper, "Did I catch him?" Now, Al, is that trepidation at the slipperiness of their opponent or supreme sass?
It depends on who's saying it, because I'm a firm believer in not trying to like jinx it. So I'll say like a catch is looking pretty good, but I won't sort of count on it until it happens. And that's just, personal preference. That's not wanting to jinx it. But, could also just be a fair amount of sass.
That's true. It could be, but either way, like that was a proper takedown, and that's applauded. Now, little birdies inside Foils Are Forever chat told me that the lust for a certain silent person sitting to my left and his risque top spilled over from the main thread into their chat. And my only question for you, Al, is probably not PG, and I'll leave it there. But there is a rap talent in our midst. As one team spun out this classic rhyme by Sir Mix-a-Lot, I'm gonna perform this in the style of a gentleman rapper, so as not to try and burn the ears from my North American colleagues. I like big damage, and I cannot lie. You other gamers can't deny that when Alpha walks in with an itty-bitty waist and 10 damage in your face, you get sprung. So
Sir Mix-a-Lot couldn't have sang it better himself.
There we go. Where do we feel about the quality of that one, Al, lying in the lyrical ratings?
I'll give him credit. My hope, though, is that it doesn't spurn more of those. I remember there was a time in the community where they kept doing musical sort of remixes to Star Realms stuff, and it was pretty horrible to read through.
I've been
so I'm hoping this is not a start of that again.
And finally, we had one nervous player who was projecting getting hit, their captain, not paying attention, declared they were to hand off their ball to the captain's favourite child. Only the player didn't actually get hit, and then much confusion ensued as the entire team tried to undertake the captain's orders and convince this player to hand off the ball, even though they still had the ball in question. So they were, in fact, had to cry out, "I'm not dead!" in a very Monty Python-esque segue. So that was kind of funny, I think. But that's as far. I mean, that's all the tea I've heard in my travels.
Wow.
Have you had any that has wound itself your way?
Not really, but I will say the last week and a half was sort of a blur. Being at GenCon, I was a very sort of bad teammate and didn't pay too much attention to all the nuance of what was going on. So yeah, I don't know. But if other people have stuff to share, I'm going to drop it in the chat. The email address, they can email us anonymously if they want.
Absolutely. Get those juicy teas into srdbtatler@gmail.com, where we will be happy to read your reports and include them into our Thunderballs. And as Al has said previously, they don't even have to be true.
No. Sometimes we prefer it if it isn't.
That's right. That's right. Very true. So, I think that's enough tea. We're going to go into the matches. So, round 6, match 1. That's going to bring us into the territory of Deathworld with Love, Zwivix versus Catches Galore Yarboa. Now, Al, this began with simply Steph distracting a certain clown, your favourite and mine, by throwing a MacBook at him. Rather unorthodox move there. And then Sturrock took first blood at the second attempt, sitting down Riska, Queen of the Cookies. So a fairly vicious start to the game with jobs items being thrown left, right, and centre. Now, Load Letter quit clowning around with Steph, who maybe should have thrown a MacBook Pro, I think was the comment I saw. And then she threw at Sturrock, he threw at Sturrock, who threw back at him, feeling in danger. Load Letter not only hit the unfortunate Ukrainian, but also caught his return ball to double his investment.
Yikes.
Now, Mortal Kombat Lux was finishing off Rollinpaw, catching and eliminating him in what can only be described as a brutal display. And there was a slight lull in proceedings, as the only sound was Guianos gluing his stealth needle to his moonworm to hit JP in the face with his two-headed blob monster. So an early kind of dispatching of JP, quite key to that match, as he's often kind of like a Klingon hanging around at the end, right?
He definitely does some heavy lifting on that team.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, as we move on through this match, PC Load Letter walloped Jimmy in the proverbials, which triggered Lux to go Super Saiyan. He now eliminates Riska, Zwivix, Sato, the legend himself, and Super Grandma, who Load Letter helpfully suggested was hit so hard she bounced into next week, as everyone funneled their balls to Guianos, and it now becomes a 2 against 1. Lux threw another ball, this time at the clown, who used Guianos as a body shield, knocking them both to the ground but avoiding the ball. And then Simon took aim with the precision of a man who was looking for another kill. He hit Lux over the course of 3 days to win the match for Deathworld.
Nice.
So, I think certainly a great performance by Deathworld there. But who's your individual of the match?
I've got to go with PC Load Letter.
Yeah.
He won his race. He got 2 hits. He got a really important catch, and he had 2 dodges.
I mean, that's a good performance for anyone.
That's a good performance for anyone, and it's easy to forget, but he's a rookie this season.
He is. That's true.
I mean, he's been bouncing around the realms for a very, very long time, but he is just a rookie this season, and to pull off a performance like that, I think we're going to see this more and more as the rookies have, they have half the season under their belt now. They're going to start understanding things, knowing what's going on. But yeah, it was a great performance.
Yeah, really good performance. I think a quality pick there. Now, as we move into the second match, we've got on Her Majesty's Secret Outpost versus Foils Are Forever.
Oh yeah, this one.
You remember this one well, do you, Al?
Well, it's hard to remember all the nuances because it went on a really long time.
It really did. I mean, when I go through the games, much to the horror of someone I was talking to recently, I go through the games and I go through all the comments. Now, when I look and see 237 comments on a game, then I know it's going to be lit. So let's start talking about your race ball with Tatiana and the ensuing propositions. I think I heard the words Racy Al, Hairy Gams, Slutty Men, male mesh crop tops. I think they were all mentioned.
That sounds about right. That sounds like something I would say.
That sounds like a very, very intriguing beginning to
I have now learned not to be racy around these ladies because it just leads to terrible, terrible suggestions.
Apparently, there were some ideas that maybe you didn't want to take through into reality. Yeah.
Well, not at least photographic evidence.
Yeah, no evidence certainly. So after the races are over, this game began at a frenetic pace and bathed in blood as Chasmo, One Carlos, Binks, and Dusto all raised the death count, and none of those were involved on the wrong end of the ball.
No.
Thestral tried to employ a psychic to predict the outcome of the match, but unfortunately she couldn't see Binkley's ball, which sent her to the bench and sat her ass down to eat some cookies. M. Colo then calls upon the power of Sandra Torres, who isn't even involved in this match. And Lisa is out shopping for racy garments for your good self as she watches Tatiana catch Binkley. She decides that she's spent enough and turns her attentions to Bull Juan, eliminating the dashing Spaniard with quite a large amount of glee, I think. So it's the game's sitting quite precariously, and then Tatiana revives Imam, who immediately slaps Binkley into the next match. And then you're eliminated by Chasmo, employing his secret weapon, the pumpkin spice ball for basic bitches. Right. That sounds like it would have hurt quite a lot,
Al. Yeah. It's the Ugg boots that go along with the pumpkin spice that really hurt.
It's the real that's the real leveler on humility, isn't it?
Yeah.
Elizabeth is then eliminated a second time as we move into what I like to call the M. Colo phase of the match, where Chasmo, Dakaran, Dusto, Poopdeck, and Tatiana all try to pin down the Sass Mistress Supreme. Now, in this game, Al, M. Colo threw as many balls as the entirety of License to Overkill in their match.
Yes. So I was at GenCon, and it seemed like every time I checked my phone, there was another message from M. She's like, I just dodged another thing. I just threw another ball. I just dodged another ball. Just threw another ball. I was like, is this game still going on?
And I mean, spoiler alert, she couldn't dodge forever. But if they'd won, that would have had to have been an MVP performance, right? Because
oh yeah,
just crazy.
We had to open up the record. We had Cranky open up the record books to figure out if anybody else had played as many games in a match.
And I think it was
Ian,
27, wasn't it? That M. Colo
he had 27 games.
Yeah,
which firmly puts her in second place, behind Ian, who had something ridiculous.
I think I remember that match as well. He just would not die, but also couldn't hit anything for toffee. So, horses for courses. But it did take Foils Are Forever 8 throws to pin down M. Colo. She took out Dakaran and revived the Texan in the meantime, who regrettably couldn't match her stoic performance and fell to the shiny onslaught of Tatiana, securing the match for Foils. Where does our MVP sit amongst all this craziness, Al?
So I know we usually give the MVP to the player on the winning team. So I'm gonna give it to Tatiana because she got the final hit. She also had a catch. She had 4 dodges. She was there at the end. But let's be honest, M. Colo kind of deserves an MVP for just lasting that long. I mean, she was super, super dodgy, and she played 27 games of dodgeball.
27 games of dodgeball in the space that some players maybe take 2 or 3 games. Like
I
that's
know. I
a
mean,
mental amount.
it was crazy.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to kind of leaf through those comments as well, because that's the sort of game that I chuckle heartily going through absolutely every single comment, because it was just a riot,
Yeah.
absolute riot. So game 2 is done. We're going to go on to match 3, and this was Dodger More or Less against Lethal Is Not Enough. Now, Al, I had to go back and read this as thoroughly as if I'd read a different one, because, well, I wasn't really in it at all.
Oops.
Yeah, first one sat down. So moving swiftly on, we've got Cbus Ripper performing his best impression of Neo, dodging death at the hands of MTG in real life by a mere 1 point of authority, before rudely eliminating her by 1 point of authority. That's I mean, Cbus, pretty polite guy, but that takes rudeness to a whole new level. Yeah. Slavic then hammers the Mystic, and Darklighter eliminates his opposing Captain Ninja. And Marauder Mo, who we haven't really heard much from this season. He may or may not have taken exception to the omission, taken it to heart and personal, and he goes on a bloody rampage, removing Cranky Slavic, and after a short break for Artemis to catch Clever Missy and revive MTG in real life, the glorious scalp of Cbus himself. Now, Cbus had dodged 3 balls at once before finally succumbing to Marauder Mo's attention, but before death fires out some zombie balls that claim Ride the Beans, claims his head and puts him into his camping misery for the double tap.
Oof.
Meanwhile, all hell is breaking loose on Dodger More or Less's bench as Clever Missy beans a killer ball at her own dead teammate Slavic, which knocks him away from his typewriter and into the change rooms. Controversy in the dressing rooms of Dodger More or Less, as Clever Missy is just throwing balls to everybody from the bench and on the bench. Back to the real action. Darklighter accounts for Sarah T. Clever Missy dodges several balls from the Mo before Darklighter finally fells her, and Marauder Mo catches her out, benching her ass and securing the match for Lethal Is Not Enough. MVP, Al?
I guess we'll give it to Marauder Mo. I mean,
seems like he deserves it.
He seemed to put in the lion's share work. I mean, 3 hits, a catch, also threw in a couple dodges. That's a pretty MVP type performance. So maybe he's just gearing up for the second half. And it's not like he's had a terrible first half of the season. He's just been overshadowed by a few of his teammates. So maybe this is the time when he starts coming into his own and taking over matches himself.
Absolutely, and I think maybe in the draft format, something we said about Marauder Mo was he had one of the slimmest bands of performance, and by that I mean like he rarely has a bad game, but he rarely goes super cyan like some of our other players. So
right,
maybe this second half of the season, this stretch is where he kicks it up a gear.
Yeah, we shall see. And
onto round 6, match 4, we've got Through to a Kill against License to Overkill. So this game began by Chris politely throwing the ball, after all the races were done, obviously, politely throwing a ball at his good friend, Bahamut619, who repaid him by stabbing him in the back with a discard 4 and a catch. Probably off the best man list there, I think, Al, right?
Possibly. I would like to point out the discard 4 is a baby girl.
It is a BBY girl. That's
always
correct.
Should be celebrated.
Absolutely, every time and twice on Sundays. Now, both teams are desperate to kill at this point, revenging Polites. Through Eliminate Baggio and Patriarch as Vori and DG3 get on the kill board. But Tuna Slap and Traitor Hut 619 respond by taking the lives of Vori, DG3, and Acox89 respectively. It's almost like a game of anything you can kill, I can kill better, because like the one team killed 1, the other team killed 2, they came back and killed 3. It's just
almost
escalation.
As if we have 2 teams that both have kill in their name,
right?
Playing each other.
I know, who knew? Now Baha obviously at this point feels bad and throws a gimme to Raka, tipping him the wink, and then Raka revives Politesk. I mean, that smells awfully like collusion to me.
A little.
And then, to rub salt into the wound, Raki uses the same ball to eliminate Bahamut's captain, making him pay dearly for his efforts at restitution. So Tuna Slap now eliminates Sabella and Ass Clown before Politics says enough, and he ends the Tuna Slap's feeding frenzy. And the game finally ends when Politess kits Mighty Stig halfway through the next week, after Mr. M. Stig's unavailability is revealed to be a 3-day children's birthday party, which is quite something.
I want to know what kind of children have 3-day parties.
I don't know, man, but I looked in the thread and it was like, hey, are you free? And then 3 days later, he's like, yo, I'm ready. So they finally sync up their schedules after quite some time.
I would like to point out Emily played 20 games in the time it took him to play, what, 2?
No comment.
All right.
No, I think that's accurate.
4. I'm sorry, 4.
4.
He played 4 total games in that last match. That's including his race.
Oh, dear me.
And M played 27.
I see. I see in the chat there are calls for Chris to be the MVP. How's that look with the numbers, Al? I mean, he was sat down awfully quickly.
He was. I can see an argument for it. However, let's talk about Raka for a second.
Mm-hmm.
He got 2 hits. He got a catch. He had 3 dodges. He was perfect on defense. He had an 80% win percentage.
And let's not forget that without Raka, Politess would not have come back.
That's true. So I gotta go Raka.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And that wraps up all of the matches. So we've got a performance of the round and a Moneyballs award, haven't we?
Yeah.
Where are we going with these, Al?
So the performance of the round is it's gonna go to a player it's tough because he was on a losing team, but he had an amazing performance.
Yeah, this was the kind of clinical performance that masterclasses are made of, right?
I mean, and I went over because, part of me wants to give it to somebody who's on a winning team, but we had 2 really amazing performances on losing teams. We had Emily and her amazing, historical performance.
Yeah.
And then we also had Tuna Slap, who he won his race. He had 4 successive hits in a row.
And he only threw 4 balls. Am I right?
Right. He threw 4 balls and got 4 hits.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
And it wasn't until someone hit him that he stopped.
Yeah. So who knows how far that Butcher's bill could have extended if he had not been stopped.
So it doesn't look like I'm favoring my team. I'm gonna go with Tuna Slap.
Yeah, I think that's fair. He was involved in 6 games. He won his race, and he hit with every ball he threw. And it's crazy.
Perfect.
And then the Moneyball Award. So just to remind everyone, this is awarded to the player whose performance for the round provided the most quote-unquote value trademark compared to their draft position. Where does this one go, Al?
It's got to go with the PC Ass Clown.
It's got to go to Ass Clown Letter, right?
He was a 5th round pick for Swivix, but he won his race. He got 2 hits, a catch, 2 dodges. He was MVP for his team. That's gotta be Moneyball.
That's absolutely solid. And so with that one, we move into the standings at the end of round 7. As we go into round 7, the standings at the end of round 6.
Yeah.
So we've got Dodge Another Day, who, wow.
Are you muted?
Am I muted? I think you might be muted. I don't know.
Right.
I don't think I'm muted.
Oh, no, it's just JP is fucking with us.
Oh, JP, why are you that bad? Your sound is gone. My sound is gone?
No.
Oh, right, I see.
His sound is gone.
Oh, why are you... Ooh, Al, No?
Ooh, look at me.
I know, you've gone all crazy. I don't know what's going on there.
I'm like a Technicolor monster.
Do you know what? I don't know how to fix that because you're fine on OBS Ninja and you're coming through. No. No, it's just you're just going to be a rainbow ghost right now. I'm afraid that's
all right. Well, you have to take me away now anyway to show the standings.
It's true. So let's transition that and then transition that. No. There we go. Okay.
Ooh.
So standings are up, and yes. So as I was saying, they haven't, by virtue of the fact that they haven't played this week, Dodge Another Day did not win for the first week ever.
Yay!
Hooray! Party hats all round.
Mm-hmm.
So sitting at the top is Dodge Another Day, still on 5-0 after their lack of a victory this week. And Lethal is not enough, closing that gap now. They're 4-1 after defeating my team. Closely behind them are Foils Are Forever with their victory moving to 3-2, through to a kill moving to 3-2, Unlicensed to Overkill moving to 3-3. Leaving Dodger more or less languishing with two wins and 3 losses. From Deathworld with Love at 2-4, and then on a Majesty's Secret Outpost and Catches Galore at 1-4 and 1-5 respectively. So a couple of teams with maybe a point to prove as we move into round 7 there, Al. And you know, if Lethal can win and Dodge Another Day can lose, then that ties everyone up at the top, and it becomes, as you said before, it's never too late to call it, but that could become a very close race.
Right. And you know, these standings are great and all, but any team can beat any other team. So it's
absolutely
it's whoever's having a good week.
Yeah, and sometimes that's all it takes. So you know, Dodge Another Day coming off a rest. We'll see if that's been good for them or bad for them. And we'll see what happens in round 7. But I don't have anything more. Hypaspist sorts funny. Oh yeah. Well, I sorted by wins and then by breakers, so you know, whatever. I haven't got anything more, Al. Have you?
Just to say that Origins is going to be later this week, so
right, yes.
I will be heading down there for that. So I hope to see plenty of people and plenty of dodgeballers and plenty of Star Realmers down there.
And Origins is traditionally a bigger collection of players than GenCon?
It is, and I know White Wizard traditionally likes to do sort of a bigger thing at Origins, so it draws a lot more Star Realms players. So
gotcha.
I'm hoping to see a lot of people, and I don't expect to win any more Legends tournaments there because the fields are going to be a lot tougher now with more people showing up.
But there are more Legends tournaments to be had, aren't there?
That's true.
Yeah, cool. Well, good luck to you, Al, going into Legends. We wish you good luck for GenCon, and it worked. So hopefully, fingers crossed, and Origins brings you what you richly deserve. And good luck to everyone else who's going there. Like, have a great time, have fun, see friends, hang out. We want to see pictures. We want to see.
That's the important part, is the community aspect, seeing everybody hanging out, playing games. We might somebody mentioned I picked up a game called Strike at GenCon, and it is a very fun, dumb dice throwing game. And I think I might have to organize like a Strike tournament at Origins with the SR community, because it's
And I heard some rumblings about maybe even a real time dodgeball tournament, or I don't know if that's going to happen.
Ooh.
But I'm sure a couple of fun things. Because how long is it? 3-4 days?
Let's see. I'm going to be getting down there like Wednesday when things are going to start. Starting, and then they'll go till Sunday. So
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 5 days, four full ones and 5 good days. So
yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, yeah, everyone have a great time. Have lots of good fun games, pictures, stories. We want them all. And don't forget one last time, srdbtattler@gmail.com if you've got any of that juicy tea to give us. And until then, good luck in your round 7, if it's still going. And we'll see you next time. It's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from him.
Bye.